White representing Italy, Fabio.
Oosh, what's up, warriors? Welcome back to the channel. Paris was amazing. I had 8 matches on the biggest stage in the world for veterans, over 45, of course. And today I'm going to share with you the 3 things that helped get me to the top 5 of that world stage, and also share with you 3 things that I'm going to be working on in the future. If you don't know me, my name is Nakapan Pung Pon. I am on the quest to become the first Triple Crown world champion. That is a world champion in judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and kudo, and I'm documenting my experience, all the transformations that I am going through so we can chase greatness together. And if you're chasing some type of goal, some big goal, whether it's in martial arts or something off the mat, hopefully my experience can help you. Now, there's 3 really big things that help me out. As you know, I talk on my channel all the time about semen retention, okay? And for those women that are on the channel too, it's really about abstaining, it's really about discipline. And for me, I held my seed for 60 days. 60 days of focus, discipline, and using that energy to really power my way through the competition. Now, I had 86 people in my division. This is the 45 to 49 age group, and I had 8 grueling matches. I don't know if you know about judo, but you got to fight all the time. And so I had 4 matches getting up to the quarterfinals. I lost in the quarterfinals, which put me into the repechage bracket. They call that the wrestle back for those wrestlers, right? Where I can fight back up the losers bracket, fight everybody who lost in the regular division, and end up getting 3rd. So that's what I did. I fought 4 matches. I lost my 5th. I went and I fought 2 matches in repechage and graduated to fight for the bronze medal against Brazil. I had a very tough call. With 6 seconds left, it was very hard to make up the score, and it was very unfortunate. But again, the 3 things that really got me there: 1, really retaining my seed, really focusing on using that energy, that mental clarity, that creativeness to fuel my training. And I'll share with you a little bit more about that as we kind of go along. My wife went with me on the trip. We had a great time. And of course, you know, you're in Paris, so you got to enjoy yourself. And as you know, no sugar. I put a video about that. I really quit sugar for about 90 days. It was really hard to do for the first 14 days to get through all that. I went through a lot of changes, getting through a lot of brain fog, and I really wanted to amplify all the positive habits that I took up. Cutting out caffeine in my diet, cutting out sugar, really trying to focus on getting a lot of quality protein, making sure my sleep was good, which is really why I cut out the caffeine as well. And of course, you know, I've had a lot of bouts with nicotine and marijuana in the past, and I've been clean for 8 years, and that's really been focusing and fueling my training a lot. So no sugar, retaining my seed, but also I talk a lot of crap to the jiu-jitsu community about guard pulling. And one thing that I really try to do is I find the weaknesses when it comes to competition, like what are my strengths and what are my opponent's weaknesses. In Brazilian jiu-jitsu, the weakness is the takedown game. And if you're looking to improve your takedown game, I have a course called Foot Sweeps of Fury. We just added a no-gi section to it. It's amazing if you want to add foot sweeps into your takedown game if you're a martial artist or in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I really use that to take down all the Jiu-Jitsu people and try to get ahead in the score and really put psychological pressure on my partner. Now in in Judo, I do the complete opposite. I actually pull guard. I know I talk a lot about a lot of crap about pulling guard. Now hear me out. My goal was to pull guard, get to my back, but pull in a position of superiority, pull in a position of sweeping, pull in a position where I could end up submitting my opponent. And I was able to do that most of the time. A couple times I had some difficulty getting to the ground, but for the most part, I was able to pull guard on really high-level judoka, people who would probably throw me if I give them the opportunity, and use my newaza, use my groundwork to really win the game. So the long story short of that is finding when you're up against something, try to figure out what your strengths are. My strengths in judo is my groundwork, and I know that the older generation of judo do not enjoy getting on the ground. They are not very strong at it. They don't spend a lot of time in it. So I'm going to use my strengths against their weaknesses. And anytime you can do that, you can definitely exploit those opportunities where you can excel. So I always try to find that, well, let's call that the path of least resistance. And you can do that pretty much in competition or anything you're looking for. So semen retention, cutting out sugar, and pulling guard to an attack. Also, I got one more course. A lot of people ask me about, how do I get submissions so quick on the ground in judo and in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I got a course called Quick Kills. If you're interested in that, I'll put that in the description below. You can check that out along with Foot Sweeps of Fury. So 3 things that I really need to work on. 1, stop counting the days. I talk about the importance of discipline. That's really what I get to with semen retention, especially with the young generation, right? In the world now where there's corn, there's wasting your power to pixels, and you can do that on the daily, not making good use of your time, that's really what I'm getting at when I say, retain your seed, not take this as a lifestyle like I'm taking it, where I want to make sure I harness the power of my chi and get the internal benefits and really get that to come out into my creativity and into my work. All right, so I've taken it as a lifestyle. I'm no longer counting the days from like streak wise, right? But I count the days since I started this practice. And that's back in March of 2025. So it's been close, almost 8 months that I've taken this lifestyle on. Sometimes there's slip-ups here and there when it comes to that, but also I would say that is a time to be with my wife. Of course, we were in Paris and we had a great time in Paris. The food was delicious. That leads me to my next problem. The thing that I need to continue to work on is make sugar or removing sugar permanently from the diet. I have to say, like, I wasn't going to find myself in Paris very often, and the food there is just absolutely delicious. I always thought that Paris was a very expensive city, but when it comes to food, it's actually more affordable in the United States. And the reason why is, of course, we have this tipping culture in the United States where, you're tipping 20 to 25%. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that, my mother, who supported me through a lot of my endeavors, and particularly through martial arts training, made a living through tips. She was a waitress and a bartender, so she definitely knew the value and the advantage of getting that as supplemental income. So I understand it, provided that people do a good job. We can get into a lot of arguments about who deserves the tip. Like now you go to a coffee shop and the person just ringing me up at the front's getting a tip just for like pouring me a coffee. That's kind of crazy to me, okay? That's kind of your minimum of your job. And that's where I find that people just want instant gratification and money for doing nothing. Sorry, that's what you're getting paid for, okay? So not knocking you if you're barista, but I don't find that you're getting the extra mile to deserve extra tip. All right, I digress. So in Paris, I had some sugar. I had some Nutella crepes. I had some baklava. Oh my God, the Middle Eastern food and Lebanese food is delicious out there. And so, of course, I had to partake in some of that. And I had it every day. Like after my competition, I was eating it pretty much, once or twice a day. It's nowhere near where I used to consume sugar. Let me tell you, I could eat a dozen donuts. I could sit there and just consume the donuts. That's one reason why I really enjoy training martial arts, and I find that getting physical training is important so I can eat whatever I want. But now, as being an over 45 athlete, I really have to really be aware of what I'm putting in my body and think about it as a long term. I was doing like a lot of ebbs and flows, like just binges, and then like all of a sudden just almost like a famine where I wouldn't eat much. And I needed more of like that steady energy. That's really what I'm looking for with good habits, taking that steady energy and making sure that I don't eat as much sugar as I normally would. So now coming back, it's been almost 2 weeks, and it took me a little bit of time to get back to my no sugar baseline, in the sense that my mood was stabilized again, my energy was good, my inflammation was down. I could see it when I have a lot of ice cream, and luckily I didn't get ice cream, but when I eat a lot of sugar and flour and enriched flour, my cheeks get really big. Like I eat a bunch of pancakes. I eat like stacks of pancakes. My cheeks just get gigantic, like a hamster. And I never got to that point. I just had a few here and there, but I could still feel what it was like to come back to baseline and get rid of eating sugar again. So that just reminded me why I need to keep this as a lifestyle, just like retaining my seed as a lifestyle, right? So these are making it a permanent part of my life. Number 3 is, and this is more of the tactical side, right? I talked about guard pulling being one of the things that I did really well. Another thing is I need to be better prepared. I need to arrive at the event a few days before, because man, jet lag is a real thing. Paris is 6 hours ahead. During the week that I left, we had daylight savings time, or springing falling back, right? So it became a 6-hour instead of a 5-hour window, and it really affected me. And I was kind of concerned about that, just landing, going to the weigh-in, and competing in the next day. I competed at 8:30 in the morning, and that's like competing at 2 in the morning for me. My body hadn't really adjusted. I got cramps about like my 5th or 6th match, which is something I've always been dealing with, trying to drink a lot of water and have a lot of electrolytes and make sure that doesn't happen to me, but it still happened. And I think it's because I didn't give my body enough time to acclimate to the time difference and getting in there. And so just being a little bit more prepared, making sure that I take on these lifestyle habits as a permanent thing. I think I'm going to get ready, and that'll get me to the number one top. I know I can get there because it was very, I could taste it. I was almost on the podium. And that was the first shot at the Judo World Championships. It's the first time I ever went to an international championship. I'll tell you one more thing was kind of crazy, was that another thing about being prepared was I didn't know I'd have a patch on my back with my last name. It's an official place where you got to get it. And so basically what happened was I then had to wear loaner gis. So every single round before I would step in, I have to go to this gi control area and put on a gi and then get measured up and then go through and they check it again. And I had a coach with me from the USA Judo. Hats off to USA Judo for organizing the coaching team. People I had never really met before, really spent a lot of time with, were out there. We were supporting each other. And in the 5th match that I was going out to fight Bulgaria, the competitor from Bulgaria, I went up and we got stopped. And the guy said, well, since you're not wearing your gi patch, which also has your country symbol and abbreviation on it, you can't have a coach from your country. So my chair was empty. My coach couldn't be in there, and I feel really bad about it, but there's nothing we could do because the next thing we could do is argue and then get thrown out of the tournament. So had to go in there, coachless, did the best that I could, and still ended up top 5. So check it out. I put a highlight a little bit on this video. I put some on my Instagram feed. Check it out. Now also, I meant to give you an update. We're talking about all these lifestyle things. And one of the things that we talk about in the semen retention is that it causes cancer. Right? People were like, oh, it causes prostate cancer. Make sure you check out the video. I'll see if I can link it up here where I talk about that. People that are making that false connection that retaining your seed or having some type of discipline will actually give you prostate cancer in the future. Not true. Don't believe them. Make sure that you protect your energy as best you can. Don't carelessly throw it away to some pixels on a computer. That being said, I was getting screened for colon cancer. Right, I was my first colonoscopy ever. And a lot of the comments, people were saying, oh, I hope you get cancer. Good job. Because of course, they don't like the message, so they want to affect the messenger. Hey, I still love you. No big deal. Probably don't even know you, but that's okay. You can, I have very thick skin now that I've been on the internet very long. But got the screening back. Everything's good. They found a small 3mm polyps. They said that's no problem, but unfortunately I will have to come back for another colonoscopy in 5 years. So there you go, over 45, still really healthy. Now, very interestingly enough, I teamed up with a company called Rebel Health. They're my sponsor now. They help me get to my tournaments. They're also doing a full blood work on me. They're checking all my genetic markers. I'm going to have a meeting with the doctor the next day. So next day being tomorrow, Wednesday, they're going to give me some of my results and tell me, where I stand in terms of being a 45-year-old athlete and how I stack up, how my testosterone levels are. Another thing that we've heard is that, if you refrain from spilling your seed, that you lower your testosterone. A lot of people have accused me of having low testosterone. That's why I can take on this practice, and really I feel more energized. I feel like I got more energy. I heal faster. I can lift more. I can train harder, retaining my seed. So I don't think that's true, but we're going to see scientifically what the numbers say and how that stacks up. So in the next couple of episodes, we'll be talking about that for those of you that are interested in seeing how my blood work matches up, whether my testosterone is low because of my practices and because of my daily martial arts practice. We'll let you know, okay? But everything's going good, and I really appreciate all the support. Everybody's watching the channel. If you are loving the content, please make sure you follow, like this video. Also, let me know what else you'd like to know about the journey. I got another tournament coming up in Dallas. This is another judo tournament. This is really gonna just get me dialed in for all the judo tournaments and really be the last one for this year. And I have many more that are already scheduled for the beginning of next year so I can get that Triple Crown championship, get on that road and make sure that we achieve greatness together, okay? So hopefully, it's gonna turn out all right. I'm gonna get out there. I've got a little bit of complications with travel right now. I've got some family issues, but that's not without any challenges. Anything worth doing is going to be challenging, and I will see you in the next video.